Alright guys, just wanted to show you a quick video on something that I think is pretty weird and cool, I guess. But this is a Z-bar off of a 1982 Camaro or Trans Am, either one. I have a Trans Am, but Camaros came with them too. But this is actually what moves the clutch. This is what, when you press the pedal, this part right here gets pushed forward, and then that pushes that bar into the clutch fork, and then that's how you release your clutch. So yeah, I wanted to show you guys. This is the part that normally breaks. So this is the pivot ball. I believe you can get these new on Hawks or a couple other websites, but that's the only part I've been able to find. This goes in here, and that pivots, and if you look inside, there's like a little rest in there, and then it's packed with grease. And then this is the opposing side. So this goes, it's kind of hard to do with one hand, but this goes in like this, goes in there, force it all down, and then you lock it in with your clip. There's a groove inside of here that'll lock it in place. Right now, I actually just went to the yard and the junkyard, and I managed to find a Camaro that had everything still intact. So my car already has it, and mine already broke, and I fixed it once, but I just decided to have an extra spare here. But yeah, so they don't come with a grease fitting, even though this is completely filled with grease, which I find really weird. At least none of my cars had it. The one that's in my car now doesn't have it, and this one didn't come with it either. So I added one. I used the 1/8 straight, and this is what came with it originally, just a little plug. The one that's on my car now didn't have anything. It was just the hole, and there was no grease in it. So that might have helped with the braking of it. But I've seen a lot of times they break right around these welds, especially if you live somewhere where there's like ice and snow and stuff. This is underneath the car. It's just raw metal. I don't think it's treated with anything, and they don't look like the best of welds. But yeah, so if it breaks here, that's kind of easy. Just put it back on, either weld it yourself or have someone weld it. You know, just make sure you get the right orientation of the bar. I've seen these break often too on different cars. I had a Nova where this actually snapped, which is weird. I just made a new one out of a bolt. That's all it is. It's just a threaded rod with a point on it. You can easily make that yourself. Just get a long enough bolt, cut the head off, and then thread a couple nuts in, and then just sharpen the point so that it seats into the fork properly. But on my car, what actually broke was this part. This goes bolted onto the chassis right underneath the brake booster. The brake booster is right above it, so you can't even get to it. I had to remove my brake booster completely. And the part that broke is, you can see how rusty this one is too. But it seems to be okay. I'm gonna try to get the rust off and then coat it with something to try to prevent it from rusting anymore. But so the pivot ball goes through here. It's a slotted hole, so you can see that matches it. It goes through there. Then there's a nut that goes on the other side right here. You can see how rusty that is too. They actually came off pretty easy. I used a whole bunch of, Pemtron. Worked pretty well. But yeah, no, what broke on my car was not this. So yeah, this is the bolt that goes all the way through. But my car actually broke right here. It snapped clean off. So every time I would press my pedal, there was nothing. There was no resistance. There was nothing. I didn't have enough leverage to push the clutch fork in with this. So I managed to limp it home in second gear, I think. And then I couldn't find anything on it. There's no info on this. I looked online. I looked on third gen F bodies, everything. I couldn't find any info. Just people telling me to replace it with hydraulic, but that wasn't gonna help me at the time. So I took my brake booster off, and then I found these two bolts. If you can get them from the bottom, you're in luck. But I couldn't get them off. I actually ended up stripping this one and almost stripping that one. I ended up having to use some special tool to get this one off, and then I used the air impact to get that one off. But what happens is this little weep hole, I think that's what it is, gets clogged with dirt and crap, and then water just kind of sits here. And then this gets really rusty. I've cleaned this one up already, but that was completely closed. You couldn't even tell there was a hole there. And then all this was completely closed too.